Watch for it and it'll say go live. We are live.
Okay. So which one is the voice? The sound?
We're now live, and you've got your hand over the screen.
Yes. That's so much fun.
Hello.
Is it live?
Live. Tin Man.
We are live.
Introduce us. We're live.
Okay. So it is live. Let me double check. Okay.
It is live.
Yeah, let me make sure the link is on. Okay, yeah, it is live. Okay. Okay, great. So why don't we begin? So by the way, hello everybody. I'm Tin Man Lee. Today I'm very honored to be interviewing Margot, who is the founder of Remembering Wildlife. And also sitting next to me, I don't know why he's sitting next to me, but this is Federico Veronesi. He is one of the two judges for this year's Remembering Wildlife. And indeed, this year we have the Remembering Wildlife 10th year anniversary, which is super exciting. So I had this opportunity to have these two amazing people, amazing human beings here. And I want to ask them a few questions and tell you what you can help with the conservation, which we did need your help because the animals need all of your help. So Margot, can you before we talk about how you begin, can you share with us a little bit about this Remembering Wildlife 10th year anniversary?
I can, yes. Hello, you guys. Sorry, I think we should just explain you guys are in a tent in Tanzania. So just been in the Serengeti all day, yeah?
We are.
Yes.
Why are you in a tent together?
I don't even know. Well, you know, this is what wildlife photography do. we go into the most remote places, and then all we care about is to get the best photos. Which I'm sure we will share with you more about what is really happening here. But it was just so fortunate that I can have access to Federico, who have been doing this amazing task. Can you even imagine how many photo submissions you got this year for the Remembering Wildlife?
4,000 or something for
4,500 competition entries. Yeah.
Yes, and all of them, I talked to Federico, super high quality. So in a bit, you know, I'm sitting right next to him, asking him about what he feels about this year's entries, what is the selection process, so that, you know, in the future, some of you may have the opportunity to participate and learn how to get in. But also, we talk about the power of photography, what Margot and Federico believe in terms of how this can help with the animals. Because a lot of the people, you know, after I've been doing YouTube and those ask me, like, how is it even possible these days to use photography to help the animals? So with that said, why like, I actually asked Margot before, but the story actually involved Margot and Federico about the origin of Remembering Wildlife. So Margot, can you briefly bring us back into the moment of how you decided to start the Remembering Wildlife and the initial challenges of that?
Sure, I will. So yes, it started in late 2014. I was in Kenya, having been based out in the Masai Mara, working as a photographer in a camp there. And at the end of that stay, I went to Laikipia and saw an elephant that had been a victim of poaching. And when I asked the rangers, you know, what was happening, they told me how much poaching was happening, particularly at that moment in time, and that the elephant had been killed by poachers with a poisoned arrow. And I was very angry and very upset. And I realized that it was very easy to go on a safari and stay in a lovely camp and not really have any idea about how bad the poaching crisis was. Kind of, you know, outside of the park boundaries maybe, or, you know, in the valley behind the mountain. And once I knew how bad it was, I wanted to make a difference. So I started trying to think how I could help. And I came up with the idea to try and make a book on elephants that could be sold to raise awareness of poaching and to raise money. And I realized that if I made a book just of my pictures, only my mother would buy it because no one knew who I was. So I thought, I should actually try and get lots of photographers to be in this book. And at that point, I had become friends with Federico, sitting next to you, because he was often in the Masai Mara at the same time that I was. So he was one of the very first people I ran the whole idea past. And I'm sure he'll remember it. We were sitting having breakfast at Main Crossing. And I said, I've got this idea to do a book on elephants, and, you know, everyone should give me a picture. And would you give me a picture? And I wasn't sure he would even say yes. But he was like, yes, of course I would. He could have said, no, it's a bad idea, and we wouldn't be sitting here 10 years later. So thank goodness you said yes.
I know.
Wow. Yeah, and it's just so incredible that sometimes, you know, just a small decision, right, would make such a huge difference. And like I know a lot of you watching it will feel like, you know, like just like a small effort, how can something big happen? And look at Margot, right? Like with like seeing something and taking action. Now it is 10 years, right, doing a book every year. And so how much money have you actually raised in these 10 years, Margot?
Yeah, so we've gone over this year 1.2 million British pounds, and that equates to, we've given out over 1.55 million US dollars. So that's to 74 projects in 34 countries. So yeah, but what's really interesting is that, because when I started and it was poaching of elephants, I thought, I was very naive, and I thought what we need to do is raise money to give guns to rangers and they can shoot poachers, and that's how you save elephants. And it's so much more complex. But many of the issues that the animals that we feature, from tigers to rhinos to elephants to lions, the same issues come up over and over again. And there's a combination of the illegal wildlife trade, and then there's conflict with humans. Those are the two main ones, and both of those are somehow caused as well by habitat loss. So as more and more land is lost, there's less places for the animals to be, and then they come into contact with humans. But what's really surprised me in the whole 10 years is how, you know, we've paid for reinforced bomas in Kenya to stop lions attacking cattle, for example, in Kenya, but we've done the same in northern India, where snow leopards are, or we've done in
Yes. Come back.
I think we lost each other for a second. Are we all back?
Yeah,
we're back.
did
Yes.
we did.
Yes. So that is that is just super amazing about how much you help. And I'm just think that, like, even though I prepared some questions, but I was just thinking about how, you know, like a lot of the photographers, right? We always see our photos as the like our kind of our livelihood. We don't want to give it away. But then when with your ability to basically unite all the photographers together to fight for these animals, and then it was just, if you think about it, it's deeply moving how everybody give out the best photos to put it into the Remembering Wildlife series, so that everyone can contribute to do something that we love about the animals. And so, and then I'm just incredibly honored to know both of you, and I know how much you care about the animals, see you in real action. So it's super incredible. So before I get into Federico about the judging, I just want people to know that there is the 10th year anniversaries Remembering Wildlife Kickstarter that is ending in how many, 24 hours, is that true?
Yes, that's right. I've just put the link up here now, but if people go to our Facebook or any of our channels, they'll be able to do a link they can click on. But yes, it's a 30-day campaign, and we've got just less than 24 hours to run now. So it's a marathon, and I am we're at the end of it. I've got to keep my energy up to get over the finish line.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll also send the link to people, because like every little thing, it will help tremendously to help the animals that we love, and this is really the most direct way, right? We can keep on taking good photos, but this is really the action that people can do, and then they can receive this beautiful 10th year anniversary remembering wildlife book after they pledge. And at first, I don't understand what is really the pledge, but turn out there are different levels of the pledge. You can send in the money to purchase a book, but then there's also a lot of these crazy things. I don't even know how Margot can put together. A lot of the people would give out, these tours in special discounts, like really beautiful souvenirs that you can buy with the book. And then, you also make a lot, like you can get those in a very good discounted price. But then also these are all people who give away these benefits so that this money can go to the animals. So it's almost like, I hate to use this word, but it's a win-win situation for our animals. So that I totally urge you all to do that. And now, okay, so since we are all talking about photography, right? So now is time to pull Federico about like he and Art Wolf, legendary photographer. These two are the judge for this year's contest, and both of them I admire very much. And it's good that I'm sitting like 1 feet away from Federico. So two questions I can ask Federico is number one, about this judging process and how you think about people's photography skills, and then secondly, I know that you have been doing photography all your life, right? You quit your job in economics and then move into full-time doing photography. So what do you believe in terms of the power of photography that can really help conservation?
Well, let's start from this one. I believe photography has the power to connect the animal's emotions with your own emotion. I think that's the best thing that we try to convey. That's why we focus a lot when we're looking for light. We're looking for the atmosphere. We're looking for the nice moments when a mother greets a baby, like today, even a mother carries a baby. We look for those moments when people can really connect to the animals, and that connection remains and brings, the urge and the desire to make sure that these animals continue to live their lives in peace and in safety as much as possible. So I think that's the real power. And in the judging, that's very complicated. There were so many good images this year. Can I say leopards were the ones that were impressed me the most, Margot?
Yes.
I think the quality of pictures everywhere of all the animals were really good, amazing. But leopards were like I couldn't really make up my mind. It took me a long time, and eventually we settled on two very, very good images. But we could have easily put a lot more. But for all species, I think we could have done almost a whole book with those. A whole new book, let's say, on with all those photos. Pictures were really good.
Yeah.
Then, of course, with the book, some people will think, but my picture maybe was better than the other one. But this is not really it's a competition, of course, for excellent photography. But I'm sure Margot will agree that we also look for things that maybe fit the book, that tell a story that the book is lacking, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's sometimes it's maybe for example, I think we had on the leopards the black leopard and the spotted leopard together. That's an amazing moment. Two leopards on a tree, one black, one spotted. So that's so unique. So, but there were so many other good images. So for whoever has entered and has not made it to the book, just getting to the 200 was a real huge achievement because the quality was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was just talking to Federico too. I said, like, why don't you just tell Margot to do an exhibit of all the top 200? And because I look at them, it's just so good, and people needs to know about these to get moves. But then I understand about the cost of doing an exhibit and all this complicated thing. But still, I highly recommend that you consider that, and maybe you can even ask the people who watch this this channel to help, because people need to see these amazing photos. And of course, I'm so grateful for the 19 photographers, right, who make the top 20. And I look at those photos and absolutely blow my mind. And sorry, I kept on talking. Maybe I was drinking a little bit too much. But anyways, so you know what Federico was talking about, I deeply resonates is like we are sharing our earth with these precious animals, and what they do, like the mother caring for the cub, like all these things are universal and it's totally relatable. And when we take the photo, those are real moments. Those are not fabricated. Those are not, watching something in a movie, or you are not doing AI to create those. Those are absolutely true moments of how these animals are struggling to raise their youngs and do all these things. However, also like Federico and I have been like knowing each other, and for sure you two know each other. Like over the years, we saw so much changes in the habitat of the animals. Like every year, like we were just talking about, we can't even go back to this place anymore because like it's just ruined. It just breaks our heart. We see it like every year, things are changing.
Yeah.
And with people, photographers are able to capture those moments using their artistic style, right? Not just capturing the moments, but how to use the light, how to use composition, all the things that evoke human nature to lead people to connect and make people cry and make people to do something. I think this is more important than anything. And right now, Margot, thankfully, there exists you in this world to create this platform to reunite everyone. And I think this is so critical for everyone to put down everything they are doing and go to the Kickstarter, especially for this year is the 10th year anniversary. And I just
this year is not only 10 years, it's also dedicated to a very special animal that some people may not know of his existence. But
really?
it's also
Marco, maybe you can
a
say a few
very, very beautiful animal, very various species, but so endangered, yet almost under everybody's watch, because many people don't even realize this is happening, isn't it?
Yeah, no, thank you. You're right, Federico. So it's the pangolin, and we were just chatting before we went live. So I have never seen one in the wild. You were saying you saw one, 2011?
My first and last.
Yes, and I think that's one of the challenges, because people don't see them in the wild, and they are very shy and secretive. They are nocturnal, so they are very rarely out when you would be out on game drive. And if you're on a night drive and they hear a vehicle coming, they're going to run away and hide. So that's why no one sees them. And yet they are the most trafficked mammal in the world. They think that 1 million have been taken from the wild in the last decade. And they're used in Chinese medicine. Their scales are ground up and used in Chinese medicine. And people also eat the meat, particularly in China. But even in places in Africa, they eat the meat. And it's only because I've been going to some rescue centers while making this book that I've got to know the characters of pangolins. And they're incredible, because you look at them and they look like a kind of fir cone almost, a kind of an armadillo and something prehistoric that you don't think has a personality, but they're like little cats. They really are. They kind of, if you hold one, because I got to hold one because we were weighing it and taking it for a walk, and they sniff you like a little cat. And then when you're carrying them, they like snuggle into your neck and they're kind of looking at you as you carry them. And they're just adorable. And yet I've been sent videos of poachers kicking them across a room like a football. They have no empathy for those animals. It's honestly, the video I was sent, I was in tears about. And it makes me so angry. And like I felt angry when I saw the elephant that had been poached, I am angry that people treat pangolins in this way. And so I want this book to help do the job of making them famous, make more people know what they are. And then the funds that we can raise can go into pangolin conservation work. Because they really deserve it. They don't have a voice. They're totally helpless. So what they do, they have evolved to curl up into a ball to protect themselves from their natural predators, which are largely cats. So if people do see pangolins, more often than not, it's because a lion has found one and is playing with it and it's got its claws into it. but that's no protection against humans. They curl up into a ball and you can pick it up like a football and put it in your rucksack and take it off to try and sell it. So they really deserve our attention. But I was worried that because not enough people know them and because they look a bit strange and don't immediately look, cute like a baby lion cub, for example, that if we just did a book on pangolins, people might not buy enough to raise money. So that's why I came up with this cunning plan of making a 10-year book so we can feature all of the wildlife. But this year, all of the wildlife are making a guest appearance in order to help fund protection for pangolins. So those lions that would try and eat a pangolin are actually helping raise money for them instead this year.
Wow.
That's amazing. Well done.
Wow.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
that I learned something new there, and I think the world needs to know about that. And also I want to add that this is since it's 10th year anniversary. So in addition to pangolin, you're also picking some of the representative work from the last 10 years, right? So just thinking about it. So this book will have the best pangolin photos and a lot of the great selection from the past, and it just makes deeply moved me about how your dedication, right? 10 years. Can you even imagine, right? Just from this events that you witnessed, and then, the discussion with this guy right here, and then, and then, you're just changing the lives of so many animals and bringing the world to know about this. It's just deeply moving, and I just truly admire what you are doing. And so I think this is really the most direct way for people, for not only the photographers but for the general public who cares about the animals, to pledge to go to this Kickstarter, to get it. And there's only 24 hours left to really help the most. Of course, you can purchase the book later, but this is really the time that is the most important. And it's just so exciting too, right? When you see that the how many people truly cares about our animals. And like Margot, can you say a few words about these last 10 years? What makes you not lose your hope year after year, working on this thankless job? Like there's so many people poaching, and that you build up a lot of enemies and stuff, like all these obstacles. And like how do you what drives you to keep going? And like what do you see? Is there actually any hope for the future for animals?
Yeah, I mean, what drives me generally in life is a sense of anger against injustice. If I see injustice anywhere, it really upsets me. And so the fact that with that first book, Remembering Elephants, I thought it would be a one-off book, and it sold out in 2 months and people loved it, and we raised lots of money from it. And I went back to Kenya to see where some of the funds that we had raised were going to go. It was up in Meru, and we paid for tires for anti-poaching vehicles and fuel, and to fix a grading machine so that the anti-poaching vehicles could get around the park. But I realized when I was there that the money for all of that would be spent in 6 months. And so in 6 months' time, they needed new tires. And I realized it's an endless job. I couldn't just tick a box and say, yes, 100,000, hooray, because they need more still. And because I cared and I was still driven by the memory of that first poached elephant, I felt, no, I need to, it's kind of almost like incumbent on me, while people want to buy these books, it's my duty to keep going, because that there's an opportunity to make something beautiful that people want to support, photographers want to be in, there's a market for it, and then it raises money. And it's kind of my duty. And sometimes I do get tired and I do think I just want to stop now, but it's that, as I said, the animals don't have a voice. So it would be I think kind of pretty mean of me to stop when there is still demand for it. So that's what keeps me going. Because we have to. And the reason that it's worth saying, the reason we called it Remembering is because the premise was, in those early days, I heard lots of interviews talking about the rate of elephant poaching and saying at that rate, within a couple of decades, all elephants could have been wiped out in the wild. And the idea was, well, if that came to pass, then this would have been a documentation about what they had been like in our lifetime, by the best photographers in the wild, and that's what we had lost. And if you think of it that way, it's quite emotional. Like, you know, say we're in the year 2050 and these books are remembering elephants because we didn't save them. I mean, shocking. And so obviously that's not what I want to happen, but I called it that to try and provoke people, because a lot of these animals, you know, it really could be like African wild dogs. You know, there are less than 7,000 left on the planet. You know, the cheetahs, it's around 7,000. We actually don't know how many pangolins are, but if 1 million have been taken from the wild, you know, they are struggling. So it's really important that, you know, we take notice. We all get upset. We stand up for these animals. And so I'm lucky that I found a kind of mechanism to do that. And I'm moved and delighted that the photographers kind of buy into that and want to support it. But equally, if you don't, you won't have jobs left, because there won't be anything to photograph. So it's kind of, you know, it's important that you give back to what we all enjoy taking pictures of.
That's deeply moving. And so two quick things too. So I see that you were, I think, is it called knighted as the at the MBE, right? By the Great Britain. So it's of course it's really amazing that I got to know you. The second thing is that I just feel this hope that, wow, like, even, you know, the Great Britain and those, they value you for what you do. So that means also like a hope. Like, can you tell us more about, like, when you received the MBE, like how was it like, and like what did they feel about what you do?
Yeah, so it's the UK honours system, and the royal family give out kind of recognition awards to people that are doing work they think is worth recognizing. So people get them for all different achievements. So I was there for my award was for international contribution to international wildlife conservation. But there were people there who had, you know, run charities for disabled people or different things as well. So, you know, I found out because I got an email from Buckingham Palace saying, you know, you have been nominated by the King for an award, and you have to reply and say whether you're happy to accept it or not. And I was, so I was very honoured. And yes, I got to go to Windsor Castle last year and collect that, and it was a wonderful, magical day, and also again very motivating, because you know, lots of people were saying well done, and, you know, great work, and keep going. And you know, it inspired me, gave me renewed energy even more to want to keep going. So it's a wonderful thing.
That's incredible. So congratulations, and thanks for becoming the spokesperson for us, for all the animals. And so one more thing to add is it seems like my phone is gonna go like out of battery soon. And one thing I want to say is sorry about the network. If there's some delay or something, is because Federico and I are in some of the most remote places right now and barely getting the internet. But then we realized that the Kickstarter is ending soon, so we wanted to have this opportunity to go. And I think that also represents one very important thing is when people pledge for the Remembering Wildlife books every year, when they flip on any of the pages, you know, every single photographers like me and Federico and a lot of those, we are in these remote places, spending days and weeks and years waiting for those special moments. And then we capture that. And we feel very lucky to the animals give us the chance. But we also thank you for giving a lot of photographers a chance, because a lot of the time these beautiful photos were just sitting in people's maybe an Instagram page or maybe even in the hard drive, never being able to be seen. But now with this platform, this beautiful, amazing, stunning art expression of the photographers, like connecting people, just like what Federico said, being able to be printed in this gorgeous book. Oops, sorry. So this is just a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Federico, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm very happy that The book is coming out really well. The funding has been going. Have you topped the leopards yet or not yet?
No,
Have you
no,
topped it?
not yet. It's no. We're at the moment. Actually, you didn't see. I did a Facebook post earlier. The one we're closest to is lions. So, and obviously,
Okay.
your picture on the cover of lions. So we're waiting to see if the pangolin can knock Federico's lion picture off and go past it.
Let's see if it can beat lions and elephants combined then.
Yes, exactly. And I do want to say,
Yeah,
Federico
that
has
is
been
great, and I'm just
yeah.
so happy, right, to see that this wonderful movement, I should say, is a movement really to really help the animals, headed by you, is going in such a great direction, and then the whole world of photographers are trying their best to get in to help the animals. So thinking about thousands of submissions, all of them, just wanted to be a part of it. It's just fascinating, like we are all gonna be together working on this really meaningful thing. So yeah, I'm very excited. So for anyone watching, try to go to the Kickstarter link as soon as possible and try to see whatever you can help, because any little help can really absolutely help the animals.
What is still available? Prints, paintings,
Yes, we have
safaris.
exactly. So we still have obviously the book, and this 10-year book, as we've said, has got some of the best pictures from the previous book. So if you've not bought any of our books yet, this is the perfect introduction to the series, because you'll see a few lions, a few elephants, etc. And then if you like them, you can go and buy the original book and get the whole selection. But then yes, we have jewelry which is based on pangolins, beautiful silver jewelry, prints. We do have a few safaris as well. So yeah, there's lots of really lovely bargains, and all the money helps us make the funds to print the books. And then when we sell the books, then all of that money will go back to pangolin conservation and to helping, as I described earlier. And I did just want to say that Federico has been there from the very beginning. I mean, one of the wonderful things about these books is it's brought so many wonderful people into my life. So like both of you, and the connections that we have, and friendships forged across the planet. So, that's a gift back to me that I didn't expect. But honestly, Federico has been there through thick and thin, and helped me in so many ways that we haven't got time to go into now. But, so thank you, Federico, because, if you'd said it was a bad idea that day at breakfast, we wouldn't be here.
Thank God you didn't say anything bad. Okay, all right. That's that is great, and just truly thankful for amazing people like you. And I wish all the best for this 10th year anniversary Kickstarter. And once again, for anyone who want to contribute to this amazing, meaningful thing, just go to the link and pledge. And I need to go to that too very soon, because it's been very busy for me. But and totally have to do it. So
Wonderful.
Thank you, Margot.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great to see you.
No, thank you. All right, well, I'll let you guys go to bed, because you have to get up very early for your next safari drive.
Yeah.
Well,
we had lions roaring. Did you hear the lions roaring as we were starting? So the lions were contributing out here.
Yeah, sleeping is a great, Margot. Photographers doesn't need to sleep, so
I know.
we can always catch up later. We can always catch up when we are at home. So yeah. All right. So talk to you soon, Margot. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.